Hailey Bieber is on the road to going global. The 28-year-old has officially sold her Rhode skin company to e.l.f. Beauty Cosmetics for $1 billion. The cosmetics brand confirmed in a May 28th press release. The acquisition is comprised of $800 million in cash and stock provided to Rhode owners, including CEO Nick Vlahos, Bieber, and her co-founders Lauren Ratner and Michael D. Ratner. At the deal's closing, in addition to an additional $200 million of potential earnout based on future growth of the brand over a 3-year timeframe, per the release.
No wonder Hailey Bieber sold her makeup brand for $1 billion. No one realized she made 3 heartbreaking sacrifices to win back Justin Bieber's heart. Recently, Hailey Bieber's beauty brand Rhode being acquired by e.l.f. Beauty for $1 billion has attracted everyone's attention, with people wondering why she suddenly sold her makeup brand. In fact, the relationship between Justin Bieber and Hailey has always had problems, especially after the cover incident. Their relationship hit rock bottom, leading to a prolonged Cold War between them. Later, the uproar over Justin Bieber flirting with SZA at a concert pushed their relationship to the brink, even sparking thoughts of divorce. Adding to this is the relationship between Selena and Bieber. Some netizens speculate that Justin has grown tired of life with Hailey, which has left Hailey terrified and unable to accept. Some netizens believe that the news of Hailey selling her brand broke shortly after Justin was exposed as bankrupt. Perhaps she will use the funds to pay off Justin's debts.
Is Hailey Bieber finally done playing Mrs. Perfect in a marriage that's looked more like survival than love? Whispers are turning into roars. And no, it's not just because she sold her stake in Rhode Beauty. This isn't a cute business. Move. This feels like a woman cashing out on the chaos, emotionally, financially, and publicly. And while some are calling it rebranding, others are saying it plain. Hailey might be stacking her millions to buy her freedom. After years of being dragged into Justin's public meltdowns, messy headlines, and awkward PR disasters, she looks like she's had enough. You don't have to say, "I'm over it," when your energy screams it louder. The soft launch into her solo era already underway. And if you're paying attention, the vibe is crystal clear. Her expression, checked out. Her posture, done. This isn't just fan speculation anymore. Even insiders are catching the shift. The red carpet awkwardness, the Instagram silence, the separation in their energy. It's all starting to feel less like coincidence and more like countdown. From cryptic posts to cold red carpet stares, Hailey's moves aren't subtle anymore. They're surgical. Meanwhile, Justin's out here giggling with SZA in public like he doesn't have a wife watching from the sidelines. The optics? Brutal. It's giving Trouble in Paradise in bold, underlined, and italicized. And just when people thought she was still stuck in damage control mode, boom! She sells Rhode, a $1 billion deal locked in. Clean break, new chapter. This isn't just a power play, it feels like pre-exit planning at its finest. A woman who's had enough and is finally ready to cash out, not just from her company, but from the role she's been forced to play in Justin's chaos. And naturally, because this is Hailey, Selena Gomez gets dragged into the narrative. Again, like clockwork. Hailey trends, rare beauty suddenly appears in the same breath. But this time, something shifted. Something wild. The same people who once painted Hailey as the obsessed villain, now they're the ones rooting for her to leave. They're the ones saying, "Girl, go." For years, she was the internet's favorite scapegoat. She stole him. She's obsessed with Selena. She's just riding his fame. But now, the tables have turned and flipped. Fast. The same crowd that once dragged her through the mud is now cheering her on to break free. It's the ultimate reversal. And maybe that's why this story feels different now. Bigger, messier, more real. Because deep down, people aren't just watching a celebrity marriage unravel. They're watching a woman quietly reclaim herself. And it all started with one announcement. $1 billion headline. Hailey Bieber, beauty mogul, just inked a jaw-dropping deal with e.l.f. Beauty. $1 billion. With a B, she said it's a new chapter. That she's staying on as Chief Creative Officer, Head of Innovation, and Strategic Advisor. Sounds polished, professional, but online, people weren't buying the PR version. They saw it for what it really might be. Not just a cash out, but a coded message. I'm done waiting for things to get better. The theories exploded. Fast. Fans weren't just celebrating her win, they were decoding it. They said Hailey wasn't just stepping into a new role, she was stepping away from an old one. Maybe even a marriage that's been dragging her down for years. And if you look at the timeline, it's hard to argue. Because while Hailey's making billion-dollar moves, Justin's been unraveling in real time. Let's not forget, he's been putting her through it. Public stumbles, private tension, headlines that always seem to start with something he did. Just recently, he jumped on stage with SZA doing the absolute most. Kissing her hand like he didn't have a wife backstage, trying to keep it cute. The energy, off. The vibe, icy. And then came the insult wrapped as a compliment. Hailey lands a major Vogue cover. And what does Justin post? A backhanded congrats? Admitting he once told her she'd never make it there. The internet roasted him so hard he had to delete it. And like clockwork, boom, Hailey drops the road announcement right after. The timing? Too perfect to ignore. To the public, it might have looked like a clean business move. But to the fans watching closely, it was layered. Every word in her announcement felt loaded. She said she was invigorated, stepping into a bigger role. That doesn't sound like a career pivot, it sounds like a life pivot. Like a woman reclaiming her identity, like someone finally tired of shrinking to fit someone else's chaos. She may still wear the title Mrs. Bieber, but her posture is pure Baldwin now. Focused, intentional, done apologizing. And sure, she's technically staying on with Rhode as creative lead, but that calm, unbothered confidence she's exuding, that's not just brand building, that's independence. And the internet feels it. In fact, what really caught people off guard wasn't just the business deal, it was how fast the crowd changed sides. Suddenly, the same internet that mocked her for clinging too hard to Justin, they're now begging her to let go. Some are even demanding she drop the Bieber name completely and go back to Baldwin. That's how deep the flip has gone. It's wild when you think about it. Just a few months ago, people were saying Justin needed to escape her. Now, they're telling her to run. It's emotional whiplash. And anyone who's ever been in a one-sided relationship knows the feeling. That slow realization that you're glowing while the person next to you keeps dimming the light. And for Hailey, that glow-up is real. But so is the baggage. Because behind all the glam and filtered photos, there's a mess unraveling. And it's not hers. It's Justin's. Word on the street is, his money problems are way deeper than people realized. This isn't a rough patch. This is millions in debt, bridges burned, and whispers of collapse. And suddenly, Hailey's moves make a lot more sense. Distance isn't cold. It's survival. Because if she stays too close, his mess might start costing her too. Allegedly, Justin still owes Scooter Braun over $8 million, a figure that left fans stunned. How does one of the biggest pop stars on the planet end up here? It's wild when you think about it. Just a few months ago, people were saying Justin needed to escape her. Now, they're telling her to run. It's emotional whiplash. And anyone who's ever been in a one-sided relationship knows the feeling. That slow realization that you're glowing while the person next to you keeps dimming the light. And for Hailey, that glow-up is real, but so is the baggage. Because behind all the glam and filtered photos, there's a mess unraveling. And it's not hers, it's Justin's. Word on the street is, his money problems are way deeper than people realized. This isn't a rough patch. This is millions in debt, bridges burned, and whispers of collapse. And suddenly, Hailey's moves make a lot more sense. Distance isn't cold, it's survival. Because if she stays too close, his mess might start costing her too. Allegedly, Justin still owes Scooter Braun over $8 million, a figure that left fans stunned. How does one of the biggest pop stars on the planet end up here? HIB launched a full audit, and when the numbers came back, they were damning. Justin, they claimed, still owed $8.8 million, and just like that, the quiet tension exploded. Justin's camp clapped back hard, claiming Scooter had actually overcharged him $26 million in commissions over the years. Now, it wasn't just about money, it was personal. A full-blown financial feud between two people who used to be inseparable. The guy who stood by Justin through every scandal, every spiral, now fighting him in the shadows. And the receipts? They don't lie. Scooter didn't come alone. He brought in the heavyweights. PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the most powerful audit firms in the world, and they backed him, confirmed the debt. Even after that, Scooter tried to extend an olive branch, offered to forgive $1 million in unpaid commissions just to settle it. But clearly, the damage ran too deep. And all the while, Hailey stood there, front row to the fallout, watching a financial storm swirl around the man she married. What really stunned fans wasn't just the money, it was the history. Scooter wasn't some random executive. He helped build Justin's career from the ground up. He was there through every tabloid disaster, every breakdown, every comeback. He wasn't just business, he was family. So when their quiet split finally went public, people were shook. But there wasn't even the end of it, because just when fans thought they'd heard it all, things got even murkier. Enter Lou Taylor, the same business manager linked to Britney Spears' conservatorship nightmare. She was allegedly helping oversee Justin's financial mess during this collapse. So yeah, the internet had every reason to raise its eyebrows. But here's the part that really rattled everyone. Even after selling his entire music catalog for $200 million in 2023, Justin's money issues didn't magically disappear. In fact, they may have gotten worse. Because when artists unload their life's work in one go, it usually means two things. They're either walking away from the spotlight or desperately need cash. And in Justin's case, it was looking a lot like the latter. Back in 2022, insiders say Justin was dangerously close to rock bottom, financially, mentally, emotionally. So when that $200 million offer came in, he didn't wait. He didn't negotiate. He just took it, even ignoring Scooter's advice to hold off for a better tax break. And that rush to sell, it set off alarm bells. After the deal, everything shifted. Justin started cutting people off, firing old team members, ghosting longtime allies. It didn't look like a man clearing space for peace. It looked like a man scrambling to stay afloat. And his recent erratic behavior, the public rants, the bizarre live streams, the vanishing acts, it's not giving clarity, it's giving crisis. Meanwhile, Hailey, she's glowing. She's collecting covers, signing billion-dollar contracts, and curating a narrative that no longer includes the chaos. The power balance has flipped. And the internet sees it. What once seemed unthinkable now feels inevitable. Hailey might just be better off without him. People are watching her elevate, and they want her to do it without carrying someone else's downfall on her back. Some fans aren't just rooting for her to leave, they're demanding it. One person even tweeted, "Sign that prenup ASAP, so when you bounce, he doesn't touch your money." Harsh? Maybe, but it echoes a bigger sentiment. People are tired of watching her get dragged down while Justin self-destructs in public. Sure, Hailey might have forgiven that shady Vogue compliment, but her supporters haven't. They remember. They keep receipts. One tweet hit especially hard. He's going to post, "When you started, I said you'd never make it. Like rare. Beauty did. I was sadly mistaken." Ouch. That one cut deep. Still, not everyone's convinced she's walking away. There's another theory floating, one that's equal parts heartbreaking and heroic, that Hailey's not distancing herself to escape, but to save him. That all of this, the road sale, the billion-dollar bag, the quiet shift in control, is her way of quietly gathering resources to clean up his mess, to protect the brand, to protect him, even as he keeps fumbling her publicly. Some fans aren't just rooting for her to leave, they're demanding it. One person even tweeted, "Sign that prenup ASAP so when you bounce, he doesn't touch your money." Harsh? Maybe, but it echoes a bigger sentiment. People are tired of watching her get dragged down while Justin self-destructs in public. Sure, Hailey might have forgiven that shady Vogue compliment, but her supporters haven't. They remember. They keep receipts. One tweet hit especially hard. He's going to post, "When you started, I said you'd never make it. Like Rare Beauty did. I was sadly mistaken." Ouch. That one cut deep. Still, not everyone's convinced she's walking away. There's another theory floating, one that's equal parts heartbreaking and heroic, that Hailey's not distancing herself to escape, but to save him. That all of this, the road sale, the billion-dollar bag, the quiet shift in control, is her way of quietly gathering resources to clean up his mess, to protect the brand, to protect him, even as he keeps fumbling her publicly. The second, she took his last name, her career ignited. Fashion houses opened their doors. Beauty deals fell into place. Her social capital skyrocketed. And while she's listed as the founder of Rhode and holds titles like Chief Creative Officer and Head of Innovation, the internet isn't buying the fairy tale. They say it's not brilliance that built Rhode, it's branding. That, she didn't climb her way up, she leveraged what was handed to her. One brutal comment read, "Nepo baby plus Bieber's wife equals success." Another said, "Let's be real, she didn't build it. She borrowed it. And the hits kept coming. Even the name Rhode stirred backlash. It was already owned by a small, woman-run fashion label, but that didn't stop Hailey. She took them to court and walked away with the name. Legally, a win. But ethically, people saw a giant crushing the small. That lawsuit lingered in the air, and the whispers got louder. What else did she take that didn't really belong to her? And now that she's showing signs of stepping back, the internet is side-eyeing every move. People are remembering how she once considered naming her brand Bieber Beauty. Imagine how that would have aged now, with their relationship under the microscope and fans wondering if the name even fits anymore. Meanwhile, Justin's spiral isn't just financial, it's emotional. His instability is becoming impossible to ignore. Public behavior that once looked like eccentricity now feels like collapse. And Hailey? She's still smiling for the cameras, still securing the bag, still pretending everything's fine. But the energy says otherwise. Calm on the outside, detached on the inside. Strategic all the way through. And just when you think the storm's about to settle, Selena Gomez gets pulled right back into the chaos. Again, because this time, a wild rumor ignites the internet. Rhode had officially surpassed Rare Beauty in popularity. And that one claim, it flipped everything. That one headline was all it took. Selena's fans came in swinging, fast. The second someone claimed Rhode overtook Rare Beauty, fan accounts flooded the timeline with receipts. Sales numbers, engagement stats, market rankings. Rare wasn't just holding strong, it was thriving, sitting just behind Fenty Beauty as one of the top performing celebrity brands in the world. And they weren't about to let Hailey's camp rewrite that narrative. The dragging was immediate, ruthless. They could sell Rhode 4 more times and still not touch Rare's crown. One fan snapped, "If you think Selena's selling, Rare, you're delusional." Another fired. And just like that, the beauty brand war reignited. But it wasn't really about makeup. It was about identity, loyalty, and legacy. Once again, Hailey and Selena became symbols in a much deeper fight. One about authenticity versus aesthetics, earned versus inherited, built versus borrowed. And once again, the internet made sure both women were center stage, whether they wanted to be or not. But as the dust settles, the conversation around Hailey has taken a quieter, more emotional turn. The internet's no longer just divided, it's conflicted. On one side, people are begging her to stop pretending, to walk away, to finally choose herself over a man who's been absent in every way that matters: mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. "Girl, you're glowing," they say. "Don't let him dim that light anymore." But on the other side, there's a different kind of loyalty being demanded. A loyalty that says she owes Justin everything. That without him, she wouldn't be who she is. Wouldn't have Rhode. Wouldn't have that spotlight. Wouldn't have that billion-dollar bag. And for those people, loyalty means staying, even when it hurts. Even when the man who boosted your rise is now unraveling at the seams. So now the question hangs heavy in the air. Does Hailey Bieber walk away and finally live life on her own terms? Or does she stay and carry the name, the man, and the mess that built her brand? You decide. Because this story, it's still unfolding.